Are these orbs the same as the ones Terrell Copeland frequently encounters over Virginia? Skeptics have claimed that these orbs can be attributed to anything, from police vehicles to airplanes, but contactees believe they are real. So the team heads to the shore of Lake Erie to get Michael's point of view firsthand.
Yeah, this is Lakeshore Reservation Park.
Some of the speculation about your footage is that you're filming lights on the other side of the lake.
Yeah, you can't even see the other side of the lake.
I mean, it's 57 miles across.
People say that your footage is helicopters and airplanes, but you say no. Why is that?
We're right next to Perry Nuclear Power Plant. And since 9/11, the terrorist attacks, there's no fly zones put around all nuclear facilities.
Perry Nuclear Power Plant is located 35 miles northeast of Cleveland. Since September 11th, TFRs, or quote, temporary flight restrictions, have been put in place around this area. According to Section 99.7 in the Code of Federal Regulations, quote, pilots must be aware of a standing notice advising them to avoid the airspace above or in proximity to sites such as nuclear power plants, dams, refineries, military installations, and other similar facilities.
The actual maneuvers that these objects are doing don't seem to fit the profile of aircraft, right?
No, they're hovering. It's one solid sphere of pulsating light. There's nothing that I know of any airplane that's flying around with one big ball of light.
Especially around a nuclear power plant.
With it difficult to attribute Michael's sightings to aircraft above the lake, the team has a credible reason to believe that Michael's repeated encounters are similar to Terrell's and may be evidence of attempted alien contact. Their next step is to compare Michael's footage to Terrell's and find out how long he has been having these experiences.
This right here is just one of the single orbs that I was telling you about. It's just one big orb of light. Another of the same objects is going to come in from the right, and it's going to hover right over top of the first one. At this point, I realize this is just crazy, so you're going to see I'm going to flip the camera right now, infrared.
What we're seeing here
Right
has
there.
similar flight characteristics to other objects that we're seeing in other places.
Terrell Copeland's down in Suffolk. I mean, this is the same. It's pulsating. It has the changing colors.
Wow.
It has the orbs coming together.
Since this encounter, Michael noticed that the activity over the lake died down for almost a year, until September of 2007, when he took this new footage, which the team is seeing for the first time.
These objects would just come up right in front of me over and over again for about an hour and a half straight. They actually kind of go dark and you can't see them anymore, and then they'll come back and they'll get really bright. Now, as I'm filming this, another one shows up right next to it.
Now, if these were flares, they would be floating and dropping.
The same night, we had this beautiful orange harvest moon, and these objects started showing up under the moon.
I'm worried that the second object is a ghost image in the camera.
Once I get it in frame and I got it, I'll take a peek at it.
We'll always use your binoculars.
Mike's footage is really impressive simply because of the size of Lake Erie and the fact that it's a no-fly zone. There's nothing around for something like 60 miles. And it really makes these lights that Michael Leahill is videotaping very remarkable.
But are these objects new, or have they been seen before? March 4th, 1988, according to the Cleveland Plain dealer, Sheila Baker sees several small triangular objects shooting out of a huge metallic gray football-shaped object descending over Lake Erie. The U.S. Coast Guard even witnesses this event and makes a written report. Quote, the smaller objects began hovering in the area where the large object landed. They appeared to be scouting the area. They were never able to fully resolve this event. The description of these objects approaching the lake is eerily similar to Michael's footage from August 18, 2006. But Michael's encounters go further back than the team realizes.
I've had contact my whole life.
Have they uncovered a level 5 contactee? The team is in Cleveland, Ohio, And they've just seen footage by Michael Lee Hill of strange objects hovering over Lake Erie. These types of spheres have been seen before, and the team believes he may be experiencing early stages of contact, just like Terrell Copeland of Suffolk, Virginia. But Michael reveals his experience with contact goes much deeper than Terrell's.
I know this is gonna sound weird, but I've had contact my whole life. I got memories of what we consider grays now. I woke up, I was getting ready. I looked down and there's blood on the floor. So I wiped it up, went about my business, started to brush my teeth. I looked down, there's more blood. I could never find any incisions or anything weird. A couple days after that, I woke up, actually like during people working on me. And I was in a bed, strapped down, and I just told this being that was right here to my right, I said, listen, I'm awake, I'm aware, I know what you're doing, and it hurts.
So have you had any subsequent contact?
One of the weirdest things that have happened is I walked out my back door and there was a little plasma device hovering by my studio. There's two spheres on either side of it with a shaft, and each sphere looked like a plasma ball.
Are these spheres outside Michael's home the same spheres Terrell is seeing?
I drive up to this orb, the orb becomes two orbs.
We've heard this over and over again.
We
People
have.
describe some kind of luminescent light that doesn't actually radiate light.
It emanates light, it's internal. Now you have the sense that these objects are showing up almost as a contact to you to guide you along.
I know that they know I'm filming them. If I really think I'm in contact with something higher and you didn't listen, that would be probably the stupidest thing you could possibly ever do.
This is an incredible case. He has gone through all 5 close encounters, from the first all the way to direct alien contact.
With Michael and Terrell's footage now in hand, the team has a chance to look at both videos side by side and determine if there is any connection between these two possible contactees. Dr. Ted Ackworth has received copies of both Terrell and Michael's footage. He will first attempt to determine whether or not the lights and images can be discounted due to camera flare or other optical interference.
All right, Jeff, we've got these 2 pieces of footage which Bill and Pat think might be of the same object.
I'm curious why there's a black spot in the center of that object.
Me too. I mean, to me, that screams defocus.
If either of the cameras was not focused correctly, 3 lights could appear to be one. The edges of the light or lights would be blurry, and it would be difficult to tell the size or shape of the objects.
You know, is it chromatic aberration from the electronics in the camera that's making the color changes? I mean, see that? The reds that are being introduced.
Chromatic aberration can be caused by the lens of the camera. A lower quality lens cannot focus on more than one color, so colors fringe or bleed into one another, making things unclear.
If it were internal reflection, they would all have to pulse at the same rate. And actually, they don't look like they are.
Do you think we could rule that out?
Probably.
But do these reported UFOs share any common traits with known earthly lights?
It doesn't look like an incandescent light or naturally made by man.
I've never seen anything like that in imagery. I can't explain what that would be from.
The lights not only hover and move unlike comets or meteors, they do not have the same appearance of FAA lights